happened offline. Okay. The and Just remember everything is conducted by the Cantilever Labs. So I mentioned at the end. I think it's not visible. Maybe give me a second. Mm, cool. Okay, so all these sessions, the assessment session was last year conducted by the Cantilever Labs, remember the name, and this year as well, same vendor, they Cantilever Labs only means conduct all these sessions. So I mentioned that there will be two resume making session, there were two interview prep session. Those were the offline conducted by the Cantilever Labs. Apart after that, there are these data science, guesstimates, case studies of SD, PM, and finance. All these are knowledge sessions, and those were conducted online. Okay, so after that, there is a main part of the assessment is the mock interviews. So mock interview, how we divided between also the mock interview, also to attending the mock interview will the student get the two incentive points. Okay, if they attend resume making session, they get the two incentive points, and if they attend the mock interview, then get the two incentive points. Okay, so mock interview divided into two parts, offline and online. Okay, in offline there were key consulting, data science, finance, PM, SD, and SD, and there for online all the core domains interview will happen online. So for the offline, so we means from the placement team floated the slot forms, Google Forms, and for the online session, Cantilever Lab floated the form because there are many core subdivisions are there, means mechanical design, maybe thermal, someone wants electrical, so there are many. So and there are the number of students are less. So they use the Calendly app for that, and then yeah, we use the Google Form, simple Google Form slots for the slot bookings. Okay, so if you talk about the data, so I mentioned that there is a preference form floated by placement team to understand what students are preparing. So based on that data, so we can find out that there are 50% students are there preparing for data science plus SG. Okay, so based on that response, we use that responses to conduct these sessions. So we have to ask the Cantilever for their panel, right? So and we have to mention that these data science has these numbers and SD has these numbers. So these two domains requires more panels. And other than so PM there are maybe 30 40 students are there, for finance around 50, for consulting around 80 students are there, so those require less panel. Same for the goods for the core engineering. So based on that preference form, we arrange the interviews, mock interviews. So you can means this is the start of the placement season for the students. So this is pretty much important. Assessment team, has anyone doubt? Okay, I think it's by mistake.
I have one.
Yeah, please ask.
You said that there are two resume sessions conducted, and two incentive points for the resume session. Is it that two incentive points per session, or for the whole?
No. So there is a thing that if you so the I'll mention that there are 1500 or 1600 students who fill the preference form. Okay, so registration hasn't been started yet, but the number of students who fill the form is around 1500 to 1600. So let's say and we don't have such capacity accommodate that 15 1600 students at one place. There is one convocation, but we don't use that. So we use VMCC or LA. So those has a 350 capacity. Okay, each. So we have to conduct this session we have to conduct two sessions for this, that to just divide the students. And if students and we also float one form for that as well. To book the slot of the either one, student can book either first slot or second slot, and they have to attend just one. They can't attend both. Okay, that's it. Same for the interview prep session. Those were offline sessions, right? So we have to manage the logistics of that as well. So these sessions was the incentivized, right? So we have to take the attendance of the students as well for the resume session. Interview prep session was not incentivized, so we don't have to much take the attendance. Okay, am I clear?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Okay, so I mentioned that these were all conducted by the Cantilever Labs. So there is one more thing. Everything I mentioned in this slide is from my tenure. It's from 23-24 tenure. This session is conducted by in my tenure. Then resume session has a 2 incentive points and mock interview has 2 incentive points in my session. But I mentioned that this year's assessment has been almost done. They go on the same way that they conduct the 2 resume sessions. They conduct the 2 interviews. They have to conduct. Okay, and there are very offline interviews. There are very online interviews in this tenure as well. But there is one thing. In this means 24-25 season, there were no incentive points. for resume session as well as for attending mock interview. So whatever, so these incentive points is zero. For from assessment, student will get zero incentive points this year. Okay, it's clear, I think. Okay, so the as an assessment team, we work towards this is the kind of the preparatory for the student. Okay, their placement season start from here, from the assessments. Right? And for if you talk about the aim, so I mentioned that aim to reduce cancellation of interview. So there is in mock interview, there is a thing that it is all paid, right? Every student get the half an hour slot for the interview. Okay, so and we float the slot booking form. There is a reason for offline interviews why we float the slot booking form, not the cantilever labs. So basically, we are increasing our burden just for the fact that we have to reduce the cancellation. So understand what's the cancellation. If the student book one slot, let's say from Sunday 10 to 10:30, and if he didn't appear for the interview, then that slot is counted as a cancellation, and we have to pay for that slot. So to manage those things, so if we have everything data with us, we floated the slot form, so we know the how many students were there. So and we have all their data. So what we do, so what we did, we call every student on the Saturday. So mock interview happen on just weekend, on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so we used to call every student who booked the slot on Saturday morning or Sunday morning or Friday night. This is your slot. And if someone they get sick or anything, they had emergency, then we just what to do? We ask for another student to fill that slot. So by doing this, we reduce the cancellation. So that was the kind of aim we had for the mock interviews, to reduce the number of cancellation. There is one also thing key. If there is a slot floated by us from let's say morning 9:30 to 10, and if any student doesn't book the slot, it's anyone of they didn't book the slot. That slot is empty. So that doesn't count as a cancellation. If the student booked the slot and they didn't appear for the interview, then that count as a cancellation. Okay. Am I clear? Okay, so I think this is the briefly I'll explain about the assessment team. So for you people, you don't, any one of you will not work in this because the team has been formed and the work has been done. But you have to know that or know this what has been happened. Okay, before you. So yeah. Just a second. It's not working. Give me a second. So there are some problems faced by us. So as I mentioned that the mock interviews were offline as well as online. So during our tenure, so for the assessment team, we faced the problem in handling the online interviews. So what happened? So online and offline interview go simultaneously. All the mock interviews happen on Saturday and Sunday on the weekend. So we completely focused on the offline. Offline interviews happened at VMCC first year, second year. So we put all our efforts to reduce the cancellation, to call the students and means to arrange everything. But doing that, we just lost some focus on the online interviews. So we didn't call the students online, the students in the online interviews. So basically the cancellation at our times increases for the online interview. There were, so let's say, I think I remember the number, there are 70 odd cancellations were there at our times. Out of that, almost 50 cancellations from the just online interviews. So we lost our focus over there. So problem faced. Yeah, and to just inform, so this year's batch has been improved on that. So they reduced it to the around 40ish something number. Okay, and yeah, as I mentioned, because of that, our cancellation number was high. It is around 70, which is not acceptable. There is one positive, that the total number of interviews conducted at our time is around 900, it is 890, which was, I think, increased by 100 than our previous year. So that was one positive for us. Okay. Anyone has a slight doubt in the assessment team, didn't understand anything, you can ask right now. So I'll move to the next team. But before that, slightest of that.
How much are you charging candy level labs per
see, in the placement team, this is you. Yeah, you ask for the assessment team, but in the complete placement tenure, APC didn't handle anything. Yeah, we don't have to pay anything. We don't have to look for any money. So that cost is everything handled by the PICPMs. We don't have to do anything. I was part of logistics as well, but I don't have to pay anything. I don't have to means look for the vendor who is asking for the less rate or something like that. We don't have to. We in finance we didn't anything. We don't have any say in that. So yeah, frankly, I don't know how much they charge to us. That's yeah. Yeah. Anything?
So if
Any,
people, if
Excuse me, Sushant.
yeah.
Just so the knowledge sessions would be spread across how many weeks? Any?
Oh, so for your information, last knowledge for this season, in the last week, last knowledge session hasn't happened, I think. So it's like it's online knowledge session we can conduct. So we just have to be present there on their teams and just look for the students if there is something happening or not. So that and it can happen in weekdays as well. So in the last week was their last session was there. Okay. So it can be, you can say in 2-3 weeks we have to complete it. Yeah.
I had a question. What if you did not want to go with Cantilever Labs and you reached out to some other company? So suppose if you did that, then while booking, you just have to present it to the PIC that okay, we are going with this company, and he'll handle the rest of the financing and everything.
So this year's teams means explore for the options, different options. Oh, as far no. But the issue is Cantilever Labs has some good panels. Then there the sessions, the resume session and knowledge session has the CEO of that company, I think Amnish Mundra, conducted those sessions, and we got good reviews for those sessions. The students are really impressed with that, and so and we didn't found another option. It's good option.
No,
this
but
yeah,
I'm
this
just
is I
using
think
Cantilever Labs.
it's second. Yeah.
Cantilever Labs as a placeholder, but what if during the placement season, during the 15 days, if you wanted to reach out to some other vendor instead of the one that you normally reach out to, so would that also, like, how would you?
Yeah, you can reach out to any one of you. I think where is that I miss your name. So I'll go to the logistics team. So there are some 2-3 vendors we need. So I'll discuss over there. Okay, this point. You can reach out to any vendor, but it should be like better than the previous one. Like so, I mentioned they explored for the other vendor as well, but it's not that they have some these facilities to us. And Cantilever Lab has been working with in the second year. I think second year this year they're working with us. So they know how we proceed everything. So we have one good. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question?
Hi Sushant, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Are all the sessions conducted by Cantilever Labs, like the resume sessions, knowledge sessions, and the mock interviews, both offline and online?
Everything assessment conducted by Cantilever Labs.
So what is our work if the sessions are conducted by Cantilever Labs?
Oh, so arranging all this. So if you talk about, let's say, I'll go with the resume session. So the online session that I mentioned, knowledge session, we don't have to do anything much. We just have to float their link on the blog placement blog and the DPC group and make sure that every student knows that there is a session. But as for as a team logistic assessment, no, we don't have to do anything. Let's say about the resume session. Those were the offline session, right? Resume and interview prep session. In the resume session, so we have to arrange every logistics. So you understand there is one team logistics teams in there for the day 1 to 15 placement season. But as a APC, in general, I'm saying you 80% of time you are arranging something. So let's say assessment team arranging all the assessment activities. Testing, scheduling all the tests. JAF team following with the JAF. 80% times you have to do logistics. That's the main thing in the APC tenure. Let's say 20-25% time you go to talk and everything, but most of the time you have to do arranging logistics. So there is one logistics team will be there that is for the day 1 to 15. But as if I have to give the overview of the complete tenure, that's the thing. If you are arranging something. Okay, so for they are conducting the session, but the arrangement of everything from the venue booking is there. So you know that there is one room booking team as well. So we are part of IIT Bombay placement team, but IIT Bombay officials or main building doesn't help in to us at all. For every, I'll come at that only after in my second slide of room booking. So we have to book every room and we have to go procedure wise, like we can't. So that comes that room booking. Then the, if you say the resume station, then we have to handle the crowd as well. We have to, at our time there was a incident, and this time as well they take the attendance of every student. Okay, then arrange logistics of the session completely. Then if you talk about this for the session, for the mock interview it's much higher. We have to float the Google form and it's a tedious task. You have to prepare the Google form for every domain. Then you have to circulate the Google form for those students only who have first preference. So let's say I have to circulate the Google form for the slot booking form for the data science. So I have to circulate those form link to the only data science student who has given their first preference as data science. We consider just their first preferences. We take this first, second, third preferences for our information, but we allowed them to go appear for the mock interview in their first preferences. Okay, so that's a tedious, that takes around 2 days to floating the Google form to segregate the students. Then this is for the first weekend. Next weekend you have to remove all the students whose interview has been conducted. Then the remaining student you have to float the link. Everything is there. So mock interview is, so during the interview time you have to take their attendance. If you have to, you have to send every student to their respective rooms. Everything have to do. So there is plenty of tasks there for the assessment team. Okay, am I clear? If not, you can ask me again.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Any doubt?
How is the room for improvement in like maybe accommodating more knowledge sessions or like scope for improvement?
Yeah, you can add many sessions you want, but is it necessary? So if you think it's necessary, you can add. There's no issue with that. So I mentioned their preference form. So based on the preference form, we do. So these are the session like we feel that was required for the student. That's why we conducted. Apart from we didn't feel any extra session needed. That's on you. Any improvement was, so I suggest to for phase 1 APC as well, look for the online interviews cancellation. Yeah, and they improved on this. Apart from that, no other suggestion. Improvement scope.
What was the feedback of students actually regarding like that like anything like that? They said like more they expected or something like that from assessments team.
So we got the good reviews at our time as well. The stations were good. The mock panel was good. Mock interview panel. Somewhat 1-2 panel we got a feedback in the SD domains, data science domain, that they are not giving the feedback. So every student get the half an hour slot. So it's mandatory that the interview will be of 20 to 25 minutes, and the last 5-10 minutes will be the feedback session for the student, so that they can learn from this. This is the assessment. This is not judging them. This is a preparatory activity. So they should give the feedback to the student. So we got from the students that 2-3 panels is not giving good feedback, good, not connecting to. So we convey this to the containers and they change the panels. Simple. So the overall, if you say the reviews of the candidates, all the assessment activity is good. It's not the bad.
Okay. Why are the 2 incentive points removed for this year?
Oh, so that I'm not a part of this year's placement team. So technically speaking, I don't know why they removed this. So once you get to the team, you may know that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, anyone? Yeah, should I move to the next one? Oh, basically with me, so assessment in the assessment team, Prajwal and Samarjit were there with me. So we were a team of 3 for the assessment. Prajwal, me, and Samarjit. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll move to the next one. Okay. Yeah. So the second team, I was a part of the room booking team. Okay. Me and again Samarjit was a part of this team. So okay. The main task of the room booking team is to book the room. So you know that I mentioned that in IIT we don't have such that room allotted for the placement team that you can utilize those rooms. No, just like any other body in the IIT Bombay, we have to book the room, and there is one procedure, and for that we have need to follow that procedure and take the approvals, and by then only you will get the rooms. That's why we need a team of room booking. If there were room allotted just for the placement team, just for the placement sessions or for placement activities, we don't require this team. Okay, so so we have lecture hall complex. So there are type of rooms available in IIT Bombay. There are LH, which has 350 category, capacity. Then there are LH. There are 4 LH of 350 capacity. There are 4 LH of 240 capacity. Then there are 8 LCs of 150 capacity. Then there are 24 LTs of 60 capacity, and then there it's a VMCC auditorium, VNAG auditorium of 350 capacity. So all the knowledge session, all the resume session and interview session happen in the VMCC because it's wider and it can accommodate capacity 350, but it can accommodate 550, 600 students. Okay. So basically, for the room booking, you need to first understand there are two categories. The rooms are divided. All these rooms, lecture hall complex, just lecture hall complex is divided into two categories: academic rooms and non-academic rooms. So in the academic room, there are 2 LS, 2 LS, 4 LCs, and in the non-academic rooms, there are 2 LS, 2 LHs, and LCs. I just not remember the exact number for the LTs, so I didn't mention that, but I'm pretty sure about these things, so I mentioned it here. Okay, so why there are category of academic rooms and non-academic rooms? So basically there are different procedure for the room booking for both the academic and non-academics. Basically there is one room booking form which is available on the ASC portal. By filling that form and taking sufficient approval, we can book the room in IIT Bombay. Okay, for the academic rooms. So academic rooms means what? So these rooms are preferably allotted to the academic area. Academic means the professors for the teaching, not teaching exactly, but for the professors, academic rooms, and there are non-academic rooms. So there is a different procedure. So for the academic room, you have to just fill the first, as a placement team, I'm just mentioning this procedure. So right now the room for this season as well, room booking team hasn't been formed, but within a week it will be formed. So then if you have to book the room, you have to fill the room booking form. Then you have to take the signature of training TPO sir. Then you have to submit this form in the Dean AP office. Then Dean AP or Dean, SDNP means they can sign. After that, if you have to book the room, which comes under academic category, then you have to take the NOC from UGSC or PGS. That means the academic section in the main building. And at the end, we have to submit that from the estate office. So all the room booking has been done by the estate office. At the end, estate office book the room for us. Okay, but there is a procedure we have to follow. We have to take the signatures for this. And if the rooms comes under non-academic category, then we don't have to take any NOC from UGSC. We have to fill the room booking form, go to the TPO, take the signature, submit to the Dean AP sir, and then at the end submit to the estate office. So what I'm saying that key, and in my tenure, I was a part of room booking team. So in my tenure, hardly, I'm saying not a single time I booked the academic rooms. So there is a catch that you have to plan your activities such that every time you have to. So everything what we had tests, we need for room for what? For conducting PPT, for conducting test. Those are the main reason we need rooms. And everything that can be accommodated within these non-academic rooms, 2LA, 2LH, 2LCs are sufficient. So in my tenure, I didn't book single time that non-academic rooms. Then for VMCC, there's a simple thing. We have to fill the room booking form, take the TPO signature and submit to the estate office. That's the easiest one. But we can't use it for the test because there is no plug in the LHC, LA, LH. You can see that there are plugs for the laptop, but in VMCC rooms, there is nothing such that. So we can't use that room. Okay. If you submit the form to the estate office, then there is one portal of IIT Bombay, that is this IRBS portal, as the website I mentioned over here. So if you visit that portal, you can see if you go to the specific room, if let's say I book the LA for the 9 to 11, so I can see that the placement office is mentioned over there if I successfully book the room. So those who are not part of the room booking team as well, as a complete APC, you should know this portal and you should know how to use it. Because let's say your company had a test and you ask the test booking or room booking team to book the room for that test, but you have to from your side you ensure that the room has been booked or not. Okay, so you can check that on this portal. So this portal is how to be know by everyone. Okay, so as there is one thing as well. All these rooms. So okay, any rooms means academic plus non-academic rooms. We can't book from 8:30 to 8:30 p.m. Okay, on the weekdays. So let's say first I'll talk about the academic rooms. So for academic rooms to book, there I mentioned that there is a we require NOC from academic office. So to book those room, we can't book those room from 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. on any day. On weekdays or weekends, we can't book that room. If you have to book that room, you have to, let's say on Saturday or Sunday, there were no lecture on the weekends, right? From 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. So if you have to book that room on Saturday and Sunday, still I need to get the NOC from UGSC. So that's the critical thing. And the guy over there, the in the UGSC, means in the academic area. So let's say I have to book a room for Saturday, then he will say that I'll give you NOC by 4 p.m. on Friday. It's such that if until then, if any professor required that room, I'll just give it to him. So that's why. So and we can't rely on that thing. We have to know in advance that this room is booked to us. Then only we can schedule the test over there, and then we can circulate the venue to the student. So that's the thing. From 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. we can't book academic rooms without NOC. Then for non-academic rooms, between for let's say from Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Again, we can't book room, but this non-academic room we can book on weekends for the weekends or holidays at any time. From 6 a.m. to late night 12 a.m. Anytime we can book these non-academic rooms. So your focus should be over here on the non-academic rooms, those two LA, 2L, and 4L6, that you have to every time book those rooms only, because the you can't rely on academic rooms. No, there is also one thing can we can book without academic rooms without NOC after 8:30 p.m. because there were no lecture. So we can book that room as well without NOC academic rooms, but after 8:30 p.m. There is also one issue with that incident last year happened. So I'll mention in the problems. I'll just mention over here. So we book one room. I think it was fall under academic rooms at academic category, but it was after 8:30 p.m. So I booked room for I was for 9 p.m. to something like sorry for 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. something for one test, for one company's test. But yeah, so and when we reached to the venue, so every student reached to the venue for to the given day, and we as APC for the conducting the test, we reached to the venue and we found that there is one professor conducting his quiz in that LA. Every student is there outside for giving the test, and the professor is conducting quiz. That happened because of that room fall under academic rooms. And after I booked the room successfully, it was showing on the portal that that room was booked on placement team's name. But still, academic office, any professor request them that they want any room for the conducting quiz, that academic office override our booking and give it to the professor. That thing happened last year. So we managed somehow. We managed other room and request to that a different thing, but we faced problem. So there were chaos. The students come for the test. I mean, there were company officials with whom we are contact, because we have to. I mean, the test will start at 10, 5 or 10, 15 something. They have to start everything. So company officials in contact with us. Everything happens. So that creates a lot of chaos. So we suffer that. That's why I prefer that don't go for the academic rooms, book non-academic rooms. If you do planning sufficiently, you will get those rooms. So there is a one
Hello, Sushant, you are on mute. Sushant.
Yeah.
Sushant,
So
you are
since
on.
when I was
Sushant, you are.
since I was
Sushant,
mute.
you are mute.
Yeah.
Please repeat. I start from the
Okay.
TPO section.
TPO. Oh,
No,
I
no,
think
no.
it's
Recently, what you are talking about?
We start from the you brought this problem face slide up from there.
okay. So overriding of rooms by academics. I mentioned that key. I mentioned the scenario, right? Yeah, I think you understand what happened if you book the academic rooms, and so the main problem with that key, you didn't get notified that your room has been override. Okay, it's still the 2 hours before or 3 hours before it is showing that it was booked on the placement team's name. They override on themselves and they didn't update on the portal. That's why that happened once, but it's unfortunate we have to face that. Then there is, I mentioned that there is a second problem. Yeah, non-availability of rooms. That's in general you are also going to face that. There are many institute bodies are there. They need book from rooms like GSTA, GSCSA technical team. There's a debate, English literature, anyone. So and everyone's focus is non-academic rooms. Simple thing ki they don't have to take the NOC from the academics because it's very difficult. And I mentioned that ki non-academic room we can book from 8:30 am to 8:30 p.m. on the weekends as well. So and mostly those body conduct their activities on weekend. So there if you open the portal, then you can see that ki there are all the rooms are been booked by those. So and I mentioned that the room booking team motive should be or aim should be such that because of your means improper planning, there should not be rescheduling of test or PPT, or there should not be we can't conduct the test. We have the time slot with us, but we don't have any room with us. That's a failure of room booking team if such thing happens. Okay, so I don't think I remember any incident such happened. I think at the start. Because I was new, something one PPT we have to reschedule, but we had sufficient because at the start of the September, end of the September something, we had multiple slots without time slot. That's why we reschedule it. But if such thing happened because of the room hasn't been booked in our name, then it's a failure of booking team. Basically, you have to do thing what you have to plan before anyone. So I mentioned that we at the end you have to submit the form to the estate office. Estate office is the one who is responsible for the booking the team to our name, booking the room for our name. So I have a communication with them. There is a Deepak sir sitting in the estate office, so that key I'll book the room 15 days before. Means let's say right now September is going on. So I in the last week of September I booked the room from October 1 to October 15 days before. Means at start of the 14 or 15 September I'll book the room for the October 1 to October 15 at once in one room booking form, one or two room I'll book the for the 15 days. So you basically what happens, you don't know how which test is going to be conducted, and you can't book the room once the test has been scheduled with the company. Because let's say some many times it's happened that let's say this on this weekend we have to conduct the test and it is confirmed by the company on the Thursday. And there is one criteria of this very important thing. There is one criteria of the state office that they have to get the room booking form before one working day before. Means let's say you have to book the room for Saturday, you have to submit the room booking form to the state office by Thursday evening or Sunday. Then Saturday or Sunday, last working day will be a Friday. So you have to anyhow submit the form by Thursday evening. Then only your state office will book that row if available to your name. So we can't rely on that key company that they will confirm the test when they let's say on this weekend we have to conduct this. After that we'll start the booking. No, that didn't happen. So what we used to do, we have to do the advance booking. So we don't know what will the capacity of the students, how many students will appear of the test. So there is a one simple thing we used to do. We book the 2LA, 2LS, 2LCs. So that around comes as a 1200 capacity. So we carry all these rooms with us. So we face many issues for that as well. Ki state office or is claiming us that you are booking room unnecessarily. You are using one room and three rooms will be there. So what happened? Ki if you book the room na, so all the operators should be there. So let's say I book the 2LA, 2LS, 2LCs. So all the operators will be there if I didn't conduct any activity over there, but operator should be present there. That's their policy. So for that they claim us that why are you booking unnecessarily, but that we don't care for that. Simply because we need room. It shouldn't be like that. We don't have any room and the test has been scheduled and we don't have any room. That's it. We completely avoid that scenario. Okay, so every time we had room with us. Okay, so we accommodate within the rooms. So that we used to do. So you have to planning aggressively before that what with the if you have to means you have to open the IRBS portal, see how many rooms are there, see how many. So sometimes you have to book LTs as well. LTs are very small capacity, 60 capacity, but you have to book because you have to accommodate, you have to conduct the test. You have sufficient rooms with you every time that any test has been scheduled, you should be conducted. Because later on in the October, November, such another, you don't have time slot. Room booking is a different thing. To conduct the test, you don't have time slot. In the weekend, you're conducting 8 9 tests in a single day. So it's you don't means every time you had a room with you. So also they are mentioned that there are a room already booked by the UGSC, GST. Then sometimes you need your friends or someone who knows there because same like us, they book the rooms in very advance. So there is a high chances that their rooms might not be utilized completely. So yeah, we use other rooms as well, like debate. I remember that the debate, their rooms I used many times. When on 3 4 weekends I use their rooms. Just you have to and you have to request. Then you have to know some friends who are a part of that club. Then you can use their rooms. Okay. Yeah. So if room bookings, there is one thing. If room booking is not shown on the portal, then operator will not be there. Huh? Will not be there available to conduct the test. So make sure that it's shown on the portal as well. Once you do where the part will be the part of the room booking, their duty. Once you submit the Google room booking form to the registered office, you make sure that that's reflect on the portal. Then only your operator will be available there. If I miss something, I'll later on catch it up. But if you have doubt till now in this slide, you can ask me. I don't think overall. Yeah, yeah. Just one by one.
Cancel the.
Yeah.
What is the penalty if we cancel the room booking? Say if I book for till October, November, December, I book every LA.
No. This much you can't book. At max 15 days. That's the he didn't allow. But I mean I explain it. You have to in the complete APC tenure. You have to be sweet with the IIT people. You have to talk with very politely. You have to make connections. You have to convince them. So I talked. I became the part of the room booking team. I just first go to the state office and sat with him for half an hour for 40 minutes. Then understand the complete procedure. Just one thing that you see that the Dean AP thing over here was not part of the previous means 2 years back. This was started from our tenure because there is some issue happened from our end as a placement team. There is one IC who fought with them instead office that about this only key why we can't get the room. So they add another one step the Dean AP with that and that means became the more tedious. So I sat with him, Deepak sir, and talked with him. I explained him his scenarios. This is the we go through. So he agreed with that. I can do the advance booking for the 15 days, and I'll start doing that. I started doing that. Okay. So for your question that we have, I didn't cancel any room. Let's say if I didn't utilize that, let it be. They say that why you are unnecessary, then we have mentioned you have to give the any fake reason, whatever you want. Anything?
What is the role of GSTA?
Role? No. It's don't have any role over here. I just mentioned that they book the room GSTA. I just mentioned one word. GSTA means for any academic, their UGSC or PGSC. There is also part of the GSTA, right? So no, I think yeah, GSTA book the rooms for maybe any GC or anything. I don't know, or any conducting any
GSTA
session.
is GSTA is Technical Affairs, right?
Yeah. So they were used to book room at our time. So we used to talk with them. So if they were not utilizing that, we use that room. For that purpose, I just mentioned that, nothing else. They don't have any role over here.
Okay.
Anything doubt? So you understand this procedure, right? Of what is the academic rooms, what are non-academic rooms? Okay.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
So what does NOC thing from UGSC?
Okay, so those were rooms allotted preferably for the academics purpose, right? So we have to take their NOC just to we can book that room. Well, that's it. Let's say on the week Saturday Sunday we have to book the room from 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. But those rooms fall under academics rooms. Then we have to means take the NOC from academics UGSC or UGSC area because let's say one professor is there, he has to conduct the one test, one quiz, or any extra lecture. So those room will be first preferred to those professors. That's why you have to take the NOC from them. Without NOC, Institute office will not book those rooms for us. Definitely.
You mentioned your
So
problem.
you understand the problem. Just one second, I need to complete one.
Yeah.
You understand the problem why we can't book academics rooms. I mentioned that Institute office required the room booking form one day, one working day before, right? Means on Thursday, if I have to book on Sunday room, I have to submit the form to the Institute office by Thursday evening. But what did when did UGOC give the NOC? On Friday, they said that I'll give the NOC on Friday 4 p.m. So it is of no use to us. After that, Deepak sir, Institute office can't book room for us. Simple. So there is no use for us. Yeah. Someone is asking now. Please go ahead.
Yeah, this is Amir. I was saying that you said that you had booked an academic room and a professor was taking a quiz back then. So how exactly did you handle that problem?
Okay, so basically there was one room. I think just give me a second. I recall. Yeah. So there were one room which is which is not utilized by anyone. It was booked by somebody, but it is not utilized by anyone. So and it was not booked on our name, right? Placement team. It was booked by another team. So I had contact with their in charge operators in charge Deepak sir and instead of Deepak sir, not Deepak sir, someone Siddhesh sir something who is in charge of LA LHC area. So I talked with them. That I understand, explaining the situation. Then we have to mail them with PIC in CCA. There are many dean or everything in CC that we urgently require those room. And then he opened that room for us. Like that much you have to do. You are
This
not
much
conducting
happened
your
within.
person. Let me just complete. You are not conducting your own personal activity. You are conducting the institute placement team's activity test. Still you have to do everything. So that room was empty, but operator is not opening for us. You have to follow the procedure. He has to be instructed by his in charge that please open that room, then only he'll open. And for that I have to mail them with PIC in CC and dean in CC. So yeah, in half an hour time we start the test.
Okay, so that half an hour delay, the company won't say anything or
No, then you have to explain to company as well. Na? You have to manage that. We did that.
Okay. And
So,
you mentioned Siddesh sir and Deepak sir, so we don't really know who they are. Could you tell us like, what's their role?
no, you just don't need to know right now who are they. You just don't need to do. Once you become the part of the room booking team, the purpose of this slide right now will be to understand what is the aim, what will happen if you not work properly in this. Then the IRBS portal was the main one aim and the overview of the procedure. So you understand what role, what function this team should be done. Not the everything I mentioned. You just have to remember. For the sake of understanding, I explain in detail.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
I have a doubt.
So
Actually.
the
yeah. One by
so
one.
test team and room booking team actually coordinates together while during the test. Like
Yep.
they have to. Okay.
Yeah, they have to coordinate. Means, yeah, test team for room booking means every APC should coordinate because every APC has their companies and every company means some of the company conduct tests, not every, but every APC had some companies who want to conduct the test and they need to know the room because they need to post it on the blog. What's the venue? So everyone has to coordinate with the room booking team, or simply you can utilize the IRBS portal. That's why I'm saying ki every APC should know what is IRPS portal and how you have to handle that. Okay. Any other doubt, please?
Yeah, I do have a doubt.
Yes.
You said that like we take NOC from UGSC, and you also
UGSC is
mentioned that.
academic. I remember that guy seat in the UGSC area. That's why I mentioned here, but the
Oh,
particular
yeah,
it's academic area. Yeah.
my doubt is different. You
Yeah.
mentioned that the professor was taking a quiz, so basically you must have taken an NOC. Even if you have taken an NOC, how can the professor override? Like it's
No, no, no,
completely.
no. No, NOC, we didn't take NOC because that the so there is this is a tricky to understand. But the academic rooms I mentioned, we have to take the NOC for every time we have to book it from 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. On the Saturday and Sunday. But if you are booking the academic rooms after 8:30 p.m. any day, you don't have to take the NOC. So that was I mentioned it was a weekday and it was the timing was 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. something like that. So we don't have to take the NOC for that.
Okay.
See, but they override, right? They override our this thing, our booking because of simple giving that reason. Ki, so it is for those are academics and it was a priority given to the professor. They simply said that.
Like don't the
Yeah.
placement team should also have a priority?
Yeah, means those people should understand. So like we fought means I was a part of place room booking team and I was like means I was very furious when I come to know that anyone simply operator is not with us, he is not supporting us. If the room is empty, what the hell it goes to give us to us? I didn't understand at that time, but it is like that. We have to go with the procedure. We can't do anything. So we talk with the PICs, anything. They said that okay, we'll talk with the dean. But it is they give us priority means something say if I submit the form to the dean AP within one day the dean AP signed and I didn't found any not a single time that dean AP has didn't sign or something raise any issue. How many numbers I room I booked? May I mention that I room of 66 rooms I booked and with for 15 days. That's a huge thing. But anyone dean AP or they didn't complain about that. That's thing that yeah we can say that that's the advantage of the placement team.
Also, can we have some alternates for this LA, LH? So like
No,
there's a
I
computing
mentioned
new
for the
CSC building.
test. No, for the test you need plugs. You need socket,
New
right?
CSC building has right
Uh,
sockets.
which one you mentioned? Which one?
Computing new CSC building, new CSC building.
No, I didn't explore that. So it is sitting. It is
It's
like
at the credit.
LH.
It's at the
It is
credit.
like yeah, but I didn't means I went to the room actually checking. So there
CC
were
one more. Like
no.
I'm not very much sure, but extension works and Wi-Fi also works.
Yeah,
So for
extension. So there are so if you visit the ESC Energy Science Building first floor, so those were room where the extra the sockets are there. There are many sockets just beside the benches were there below the benches. So we utilize them, but still those ESC rooms are also comes under academic. So we utilize those rooms during the day 1 to 15. That's a different story. But yeah, but those also comes under academic rooms. So VMCC room, if VMCC room had that plug and socket, that will be a very.
extensions.
Uh, so we tried some. I remember one we explored the arrangements of using extension board in the VMCC as well, but it didn't work well, so we didn't go with it.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Any other question, guys? I think I can see there are 75 students. 72 are attending. So very few had questions. No worries. If you have doubt at the end, I'll explain. If you have any doubt, I'm free to ask to me. Okay. Okay. So I think I should move with the next team. Yeah. Yeah, every time. So the next team I was a part of is the logistics team. Okay. So with me, Samarjit and Rohit Brijpuria. So and me, we're the part of the logistics teams. So this logistics, as I mentioned that this logistics team is for the basically for day 1 to 15 interviews, December 1 to December 15 interviews. The main task of this logistics team is to plan. Means your planning should be accurate. Means if your planning is accurate, then everything will work. Okay. Okay, so the main thing is planning and arrangement of everything required for interviews. Anything, everything. I'll explain one by one what is required for the day December 1 to 15. So we used to get a call from ICs, INCs, everything. If anything is shortage, if anything happened, maybe some cleaning required, and you can say very minute thing, it comes under logistics for December 1 to December 15. Okay, so I mentioned that we have to plan everything. So before the interviews, so interview happened in the H16, hostel 16, A wing and B wing. So A wing complete means all the till 9th floor, and the B with 3 floors from the B wing we utilize for our day 1 to 4 placements. Okay, so yeah, and for the that key what are required for the during December 1 to 15. So you have to decide the number of routers, chairs, tables required, extension board, water bottles, welcome kit, stationery required, everything. And I think you has missed a dot. Anything required for the interview is there. You have to consider that. Just give me a second. Charging is okay, no worries. So everything comes under logistics. That's okay. So there is a one word over here, welcome kit. So I'll explain a bit for that. So it's a kit. Have maybe give it to the companies when the company visit for the December 1 to 15. So that kit had key. Usme there is a recruiter policy is there. There is a offer letter. Offer letter you can say that key or final selection letter key where company has to mention the selections and submit to us that. Then some stationery stuff, some blank pages, pen, pencil, all these things are there in that kit. So we call that welcome kit. We give to the company when they arrived for the interviews. Okay, and stationery required also. So I mentioned that our placement happened in the hostel 16, A wing or B wing. So you know that their freshies are staying over there. So after the end semester happened, after completion of end semester, 2 3 days later, 2 3 4 days later, they vacate their hostel, and after that you have to do the maintenance check of the all the rooms. Basically, what there are students who are staying there, so there are many things we can't. It should be we are you the purpose of maintenance is you have to prepare those rooms for the interview ready. It should be interview ready. I think someone has raised his hand. Please, you can ask me question. Hello. Yeah, yeah, Ayush. You have to ask any question. Hello. Mm, okay. Maybe it's by mistake. Okay.
I have a question here.
Yeah.
So for the maintenance check, when are these logistics team are going to check the maintenance?
I'll cover it. Okay. Yeah. So you I think you already know that. So there are in the IPT team there are APCs, then there are INCs. You heard that term INC. So interview coordinator. So we take help of those INCs. We allotted some of the INCs for the logistics teams only. So with the help of those INCs, we check the rooms. So the basically purpose of those maintenance check is to make those room interview ready. So there are two types of maintenance we done, that mechanical or electrical. So in the mechanical, what is if there in every room, by the way, every room you have to check from the hostel that we make one Excel sheet and there are criteria mentioned on that Excel sheet, and they have to the INCs, we teams of the INC have to check that too and make sure write everything, means tick mark everything. So for the in mechanical criteria is there ki how many chairs are there, how many tables are there, then is the paint is okay, then the if table is there, is table is chair is in good condition, or the legs are broken, or the table are usable. All these things comes under mechanical. So anything you can add, anything means so to paint the room, everything is okay, there's a false ceiling or there's a some area which has to be repaired, that comes under mechanical. Then the electrical is important because the fans are okay, fans are working, tube light is working, because you know the interviews happen in 2 slots. Okay, so the late night interviews are there. So tube light should work. Then the fans should be work. Then every socket should work. Then their LAN connection, because we need routers. We need to set the routers, so LAN connection should work. Then if you have seen the hostel system, I don't know how many have seen the. So it's like it has in one wing there are three sub wings are there. Okay, in every sub wing there are six rooms. Six rooms are there. So outside one every six room there is a, in sub wing there is a board is there, socket is there. Okay, so that socket should be also working fine, should work fine. Everything comes under electrical maintenance. Okay, and once check, so these maintenance activity, let's say our interview starting from the December 1. So these maintenance activity happen by 26th or 27th November it should be happened, because during in the remaining these 2-3 days you have to give this data to the EMD and the state office to repair those rooms. So mostly for the EMD, that any socket is not working, any tube light or fan is not working, you have to give this data to the electrical EMD department and make sure that things get okay, worked. Okay, so that's the purpose of maintenance team. It comes under logistics team. You have to plan that. You have to make the INC team and carry it out. Okay, so then there key it should be cleaned. Room should be cleaned. So with the help of PHO workers, you have to clean every room. Then, so I mentioned that you have to procure, means order there's some chairs or any extra tables are required. So in every room there should be some 3 chairs should be and 1 table. We at our time use that criteria. 3 chairs should be for panel and 1 for the student, and 1 table should be there. And there outside in the sub wing there should be 1 table for the INCs and ICs to handle, and 3-4 chairs. But means taking this calculation in count, we come with the one number of the chairs that we required and we procure that. Okay, and you have to make the arrangement, means clean the every room and make these arrangements by 30th or 29th November. Rooms should be ready. 30th November afternoon, rooms should be ready for the interviews. Okay, so there are rooms. So we, once the hostels, we come to know that these hostels is allotted for the days December 1 to December 15 interviews. So so there are, let's say 10 floor are there in the A wing, and in sub wing there are 6 rooms. There it's like on one floor there are 3 sub wings. How many? 3 sub wings. Then 18 rooms are there in one floor. So that means we had a total 180 rooms in one wing. Okay, so then you have to segregate all those rooms into that keys. There were such rooms as that key we can't use that. It's the painting is a very badly painted or something is that we can't use that room for the interviews. So we'll come to know that by our maintenance survey we done with the help of the INCs. Okay, so we have to divide this like these many rooms are not usable rooms, then we can't use that rooms. Okay, then there are other criteria of other rooms are there, like interview rooms are that we have to conduct the interviews over there. Then there are buffer rooms, control rooms, and supply rooms are so once you segregate the not usable rooms and usable rooms. So in the usable rooms you have to decide buffer rooms, interview rooms, control rooms, and supply room. So these rooms has a meaning. Okay, so I'll start with the control room. So control room is there means there is a one dedicated room in which there is one PC computer will be there, one printer will be there. And so I mentioned that in the welcome kit we give the selection form to the company. Okay, and there is one envelope also in there in that welcome kit. So every company after the completion of their interview session, they have to write the name of the the candidate they selected and put it in the envelope and submit to the PIC who is handling. Then that PIC or a handler have to submit those selection form to the control room only, not to any. So it should not be like go to any other. They have to strictly submit those envelopes or those selections directly to the control rooms. So there will be always one APC allotted in the control room. Okay, so it has a significant meaning. In the control room there is a one PC, one printer, some stationary stuff is there. But with that, this is very important for this selections thing. Okay, so there were in one wing there were 3 control rooms. So we decided that we want one control room between 3 floors. So let's say there's a first, second, third floor. Then there will be like one control room on second floor. Then for the 4th, 5th, 6th, there is a one control room for the 5th floor, and for the 7, 8, 9, there is a one control room on the 8th floor. So that's how we divided. So between 3 floors, there is one control room, and I mentioned ki we utilize the B wing 3 floors as well. So there was one control room over there. So there were total 4 control room over there at our time. I mentioned ki what's their purpose. Okay. Then I mentioned that key hostel A wing is a 10th floor, so 10th floor building. So the 10th floor is for the IPT team. So everything our logistics means everything ICs and APC stays over there. So for the placement, utilize the till 9th floor. So for that, key, every between 3 floors there is one control room, and just beside that control room there is a supply room. Okay, same like that between 3 floors there is one supply room. So supply room, so what was there in the supply room? In supply room there is one coffee vending machine was there, then food packets for the company, everything, then water bottles, and then for the during the December 1 to 15 we require December mostly for day 1 to 4 we required some help from the, let's say when we are in some PHO workers or casual workers. You mentioned that casual workers to handling the logistics. So those workers are sitting over there for the supply room. So the food packets, water bottle, the casual workers, and the coffee vending machine was there. So was the role of the casual workers over there? Let's say I'm there at the third floor, and the recruiter asked me for the water bottle, or recruiter asked me for the coffee. Okay, he wants or she wants coffee. Then I need to call to the control room. I mentioned that in every control room there is a one dedicated APC allotted. So before the start of the day, we circulate to our IC APC group that this is the person allotted in this control room. So if you required your recruiter required some coffee or some water bottle, it's such not that you rush to the control supply room and you just take that. So you have to call to the control room person and ask him. So ask him to send the one casual worker with a coffee or a water bottle. So that's how we utilize casual workers. Okay. So that's a control room, then supply room. Then there comes the buffer rooms. So there are there were 4 control rooms, 4 supply rooms, and there were some we allotted as a buffer rooms. So what happened in buffer rooms? Basically, there is nothing, but those rooms are just interview ready. For the sake that, okay, let's say unfortunately there is one interview is going on with any company, and unfortunately anything happened. That means the router broke out, the internet, the maybe LAN broke out at that, maybe something fan broke out, or something happened that we can't continue the interview in that room. Simple, anything happen, and we can't continue the interview in that room. Then for that case, there were some rooms which were interview ready that called buffer rooms, and then we utilize keep that room just for that sake. We, if any case we have to shift or we have to change the venue for the interview, then we utilize those rooms. So that's the importance of buffer rooms. There is also one thing, sometimes happen ki I know that you know this key from December 1 to December 4 there are 2 slots in every day, and there is timing of the slots is for first slot running from 7 a.m. till 1 p.m. Sorry, till 3 p.m. 8-hour slot, and then second slot starts from 5 p.m. and ends on 1 a.m. That's just 8-hour slots. Okay. Unfortunately, for some company, if happens their interviews is not over between those 8-hour slot. Okay, maybe they had more jabs, maybe selections are higher. Anything can happen. They came or they arrived late at the venue. Something happened. Don't know. But unfortunately, their interview has been delayed and they required more time than those 8 hours. In this case, what happened? We can't let them continue in this area which is allotted to them, because 2 hours after, let's say that happened in the first slot, just immediate after 2 hours, the second slot is going to be start, and we floor planning team has been allotted those rooms to the, let's say, another company. Then you have to shift this company to the buffer rooms, the rooms which are interview ready and which are kept for the just like for these scenarios. Okay, I hope you understand what is the meaning of buffer rooms, interview rooms, control rooms, supply rooms, because these are the important thing during the December 1 to 15. These will means definitely you should know that. I mentioned over here later. Okay, control room has a printer, computer, stationery, welcome kit. Welcome kits are there. Supply room, water bottles, food packets, coffee machine. PHO workers. PHO workers for the means for the anything cleaning required, something spill over in the area, interview area. Then you have to need that. Casual labors are there. Okay. In the maintenance, I forgot to mention that you have to check the washrooms as well, right? Yeah. So hostel 16 was boys hostel basically. So all the two washrooms where there's nothing like they poster or something ki this is girls or this is boys washroom. So you have to do by as a part of logistics that you have to segregate. Oh, oh. Just give me a second now. My phone got shut down. I'll come back in within 1 minute. Okay, I'll continue without my camera. Okay, so yeah, mentioning about the washrooms, right? So the H16 was a boys' hostel, so there is nothing like girls or boys' washroom. So you have to paste stickers over there as well as a part of logistics. Okay, this is the boys, this is girls' washroom. Okay, then parking. Parking is the main thing. Many recruiters are within the Pune, from Mumbai, Pune, or any, they come with their own car. So you have to make arrangements for the parking. So we utilize the SAC parking area and that the area near the hostel 16. Okay. Then navigation boards. These navigation boards are to show them way to the towards the hostel 16. Okay. It's from the start from the main gate till the hostel 16. You have to uh, place the no navigation board at some point within the some distance every time. Okay. Then security. You need some security at the venue during the December 1 to 15. So you have to ask to the security office to allot some guards to for the every slot from 7 to 3 and then 5 to 1 a.m. at the venue. Okay. Okay, then there is a also one thing of something like IRF. I don't know if anyone has mentioned till now what is the IRF, how you can utilize that. Basically, it's the interview requirement form. This has to be filled by the recruiters. Okay, the recruiters has to fill this IRF form. Once the recruiter got their slot, ki PMs allotted the slot to the recruiter, ki this will be your 1.1 slot or 2.1 slot or 3.1 slot. Once the slots has been released by the PMs or by the placement office to the recruiter, this IRF interview requirement form has been activated on their portal, recruiter portal. Okay, and recruiter should fill this form. So the info in that form which filled by the recruiter is basically needed to the four teams: logistics, floor planning, Skynet, and food team. So those are the four major teams which is utilizing the data which is mentioned in the IRF form. So what is there in the IRF form? Key first thing, whether the company is coming online or offline. It's heavily important because we need to arrange the routers. I'll come with that part. Router play important role in logistics teams. So because okay, I'll explain it later. Maybe right now. Key we test the router which is utilized for the our during our tenure. So we tested that router in the venue and come up with a thing that if company is coming offline in that rooms or in that sub wing, then we will provide one router to that sub wing. If the company is online, allotted to the company is coming online in that sub wing, then at that venue you allotted two routers to them. Okay, so that's why this data is very important for us ki the company is coming online or offline. Then number of panels for each jab, ki how many panels are coming for each jab, and then there are number of individuals in one panel. This data is required for the food team to arrange the food packets. Then the number of rooms required, ki how many rooms are required. Maybe we ask them this data, but we generally allot the how many panels are coming, and just according to that we allot the number rooms. Let's say some companies bringing 5 panels, we allot them 5 rooms. Okay. Then they required food or not. So this data, so these are the we info we collect them from the recruiters through IRF form. So floor planning needs because they need a lot of the rooms, number of rooms to the company. Skynet requires because it as Skynet requires number of panels. Food team requires the food team needed the number of people coming for the interview. Okay, then the logistics definitely required. They need to arrange the router anything. Okay, so okay. So the router thing I mentioned, ki it at our time we may keep that thing ki if the company that on that if the company is online will provide the two routers, and if the company is offline will provide the one router. Okay. Then the INC roles. So you know that there is one team, INC recruited team. So who recruited the INC? Those INC, we take their help for the conducting of the test. Then they play major role in logistics, and they during the day 1 to 15 handling the company. So before, the previous year, means in 20 to 23, there is nothing like INC they utilized for the logistics. Something they kept one particular team, something INC logistics teams. They didn't utilize that. So at our tenure we started that we make one complete different team of the INCs, which is means particularly work for the logistics only, for the maintenance, for the arrange, for the keeping the routers, for means installment of router is a one hectic task. Once the slot changes, you have 2 hours within you, within in your hand from 3 to 5, and during that, so once the slot completed, the floor planning has been changed. It is there is some criteria of the floor plan, so but the floor plan changed, so you need to shift the router from one area to another area. So for that you need specialist team for that, key to does that. Okay. So INC roles, you can change those rules. If you want something you want to utilize for other purpose as well, so you can do that. That's what I mentioned. Yeah, INC roles. See, it's you in hand how you want to utilize them. Okay. So there is one thing. Okay, I'll go with the, yeah. So how you distribute router, it's also in your hand. You can test. Let's say you have procured router or ask for the router which has higher the range. Then you can reduce the number of routers as well. Let me go back. Okay. Give me a second. Yeah. Yeah. So the problem face. Yeah. This is the major problems you will face. That companies did not fill the IRF. They were reluctant at our times as well. They were reluctant to fill the IRF. They feel that it's a tedious task to go to the portal and fill the IRF form. But the data in the IRF form is such crucial that you can't plan or you can't start, means the process, everything. See how many food packets are required, how many rooms are required, how many you're coming online, offline, everything is there, which is a need to arrange any logistics to conduct the interviews. It's such a crucial data, but companies are so reluctant that they didn't fill the IRF. In that case, it's increase your job as a APC, that you, as a handler of the company, you have to call a particular company and ask them to means on the phone call or on the WhatsApp, they have you send these questions and ask them to give us the data. That's thing that your task has been increased, and we did that because at our time as well, companies, not all companies fill the IRF form. Okay. Then there is a one also big task have to perform by the logistics, in that how to keep things secured between slots. Okay. So if you someone if you some of you has the INC or the experience the situations during the hostel 16 during the placement season, you will see that there are students everywhere. Let's say is there a sub wing which is not utilized by company, or company, let's say in that sub wing complete their interview within 4 5 hours, and later on that slot in 3 4 hours there is no one is there, and you had installed a router over there. There are extension boards, there are and any logistics things, key extension boards from kit or something stationary was there, and mainly router and stationary extension boards are main, and there is no one to keep check on them or between slots. So in the during day 1 to 4 there are a lot of tasks has to be done by the APCs. So it's not key you doing these only things. You have to handle your company, you have to send the shortlist to the company. There is many tasks. I'll come to that on later. What task you have to perform, but it's like you can't keep on everything. Then there is a thinking how to keep things secured between this. How to there are multiple cases happen during 22 to 23 seasons. After day 4 till day 4 they had 40 routers with them, and after day completion of day 4 and at the start of day 5 there were on the start of day 5 there were just 20 router remaining from them. All the other 20 routers has been vanished by the students, stolen away by the students, maybe or on another one. But such scenarios had been happened in previous year. because till day 1 to 4 there are 2 slots in every day. As I mentioned, the 7 to 3 and 5 to 1. But from day 5 onwards, the slot timing changed to 12 to 8. Okay. So there is just one slot from day 5 onwards, 12 to 8. So this router got stolen. At our times, we utilized, I think, 48 routers, and by securing everything, by keeping eye on every after completion of slot, after completion of day, our 8 routers still lost. We lost our 8 routers at during our season. So that's the main problem you have to means work on. You can think any other uh, solution for this. Yeah. Okay. So is there any question you had? Please ask. Hello. About logistics.
Hello.
Yeah.
We cannot lock the rooms after the routers are installed.
Routers are installed in the subwings.
Okay.
Yeah, because it should be reachable to the every 6 rooms were there. So it should be such that it installed in the that area outside it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Every query must be asked by the control room only.
Aha, means which query, type of query you are asking for?
Regarding the logistics.
No,
regarding
you can directly contact to the logistics in Azure, but the thing like you need something from supplier room, control room, then you have to ask for the control room. If you need
only for
something,
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the kind of food that is given to these recruiters?
Yeah. The next team I was part of was the food team, so I'll complete the next. I'll answer your question in the next slide.
Okay.
Hello. Why only H18 and no other hostel?
H16, not H18.
H16 and not other one like the new ones.
Basically, the structure of the hostel is such that now, if you visited H16 or H15, it's a pretty much it's open space are there, and it's like it's good hostels. H15 and 16, there are sub wings divided into sub wings, so we can conduct the placement activities over there, and also it was occupied by the freshies. And for your information, the freshies NSEM has completed I think 2-3 days before so let's say our enzymes are completed by 27, their enzymes will complete by something 20 to 23. And also, so those students, they have to vacate their hostels anyhow, first year students. So there are many things. Yeah.
The interview rooms, the rooms which are used for interview, were once occupied by the H16 students, right?
Once occupied by the H16 students.
Like the before their enzymes, so the students actually stay there, right? So why not we float a form for the H16 and the students know what are the socket problems and they know pre-hand, right? So in their own, like just now say, you can float a form now and they can only fix themselves with corresponding with EMD.
We can do that, but still you have to do the maintenance. We have to check for the still and better to know by yourself ki it is there, and it doesn't take so as I mentioned ki this activity complete if you have sufficient number of people now, let's say 10 to 15 people, then you can form a team of 5, and each can take the 3 floors allotted to every team. So next task of almost 2 hours, not more than 2 to 3 hours. Anything service can be completed. Okay. Yeah, it's not that big.
The routers are actually TP-Link routers that we get from stores.
Stores? No, so I mentioned that before our placement season, the 20 router has been stolen. So we are shortage of routers. So I mentioned how you about this question, how you distribute router in between the groups. So we come up with some number. So with some assumptions, some hypothesis, these many company will come online or offline. That was based on pure assumption, and we come with some number that these many routers we require. So we had 20 router with us from the last season, and then we procured another 28 or 30 routers for our placement season. And it's on the, so there is a Samir Lanzekar sir sitting in the placement office. So we just contacted them and they purchased. We didn't do anything. I don't know from where they purchased, but we got just the required number of routers. We just have to take the permission from the PIC.
Yeah. Can't we get the routers from the students who are staying there previously?
No, we didn't do that. You can, in fact, can do that. Or we sometimes we did that as well after some routers got stolen. That we asked the co-APCs or the INCs or your friend for their routers, and then we return to them. Yeah. Any other question?
The food packets come from the vendors, right? Are these vendors like the hostel mess?
No. I just covered next slide about food. If any doubt about food, just wait for the some few minutes. The next team I was part of the food team. I'm going to cover that one.
Are there any budget constraints that
navigation
usually
board
occur?
contains signboards also.
Just ask. I didn't understand anything. Just go one by one.
Like we charge every recruiter 10K. Has there been any budget constraints like last year or any situation like where we had to shortage or something of budget or anything?
Shortage of what? Means food
Budget,
packet?
No budget in the sense to buy all routers. Like all these are coming from those 10K amount.
I mentioned at the start, you don't have to worry about budget. Never.
Got it.
That you just have to mention the number there that is mean as required, and you just have to be confident and have some logic behind that why you require that number. Some planning should be there, something there. That's it. You don't care about budget. Actually, we didn't care at our time at all. Yeah. Someone raised Ayush. I think you are raising just hand but not asking any question. Please ask.
Will there any be locker rooms provided?
Locker rooms?
Yes. For
For
any
what?
personal for any personal things they want to keep it in.
For as a APC, you are saying?
No. For the company that are coming, if they didn't want to put it in, or they want to take it along.
Yeah. They can keep it. The interview rooms are big enough. 816 rooms are big enough. They can keep any interview. Is this someone putting in some chat? I didn't check the chat at all. If you had a question over there. No, right? Yeah, you want to change. Yeah. Yeah, there is no thing. Yeah, cool. Okay, you have any question about logistics? Yeah, you're not audible clearly.
Am I not now audible?
Yeah, you are audible right now.
So my question is, last year, so the fresher were staying in F16. So where we have conducted all the placement process.
Still, I'm not able to understand that. I just understand one word: fresher batch something.
Hi.
Can you type it in chat? I'll check over there. Just put it in chat. Last to last year, freshers were staying in December. Last year at our time we take the hostel 16, and last year they conduct their placement activity in age 15, the girls hostel. At our time we conduct on age 16. Yeah, that's a question. Buffer rooms, how many buffer rooms? It's depend on how many rooms you had at that time and how many companies are coming with how number of panels. It's depend on day to day, slot to slot basis. It's not key in what slot, but we had, let's say, at least 4, 5, or sometimes at least one sub wing were there key for the buffer rooms. But it's mostly depend on the how many companies are coming, how many panels they are bringing, and how many rooms you have left with. So it's depend on that. But generally 5, 6 rooms are okay enough. It should not be buffer rooms so many that let's see what happened if you keep this buffer rooms like a 10, 13, some one floor completely. Let's say you had it sometime in the day off, the companies are coming less, but you keep the buffer rooms, keep the rooms open and interview ready. See, if no one is there, interview is not happening any room, those room automatically will get occupied by the students. You don't have to tell them to occupy these rooms, occupy this area. They randomly just come and just sit over there. Okay, so if you keep the buffer rooms, no, it's too many, then those will be occupied by the students. And if students get collected at some one place, they'll create the chaos, and that will may disturb the area. Otherwise, भाई बच्चे छुट्टी फूकने लगते हैं, होता है भाई ऐसा. तो ऐसा नहीं होना कि बहुत ज्यादा you keep the more rooms. Okay, just have to be in limit. Yeah, you understand? Ki I can't give the proper number ki how many buffer rooms should be there, but at least 5-6 rooms should be there at one slot.
Is there any restriction or something to like, for example, the only the students who are having the interview only will be like entering those halls, or
you can't control that because you are not keeping eye on them. You will be busy in yourself. You will not have enough. At max, you can do. You can keep one security guard over there. That's the thing. But I don't know that will restrict the student to go to the rooms. Okay.
Is the control room APC like or the other APCs that are handling? Okay, this guy has reached for the interview in this like for example, if a guy has appeared for the interview on his timing, or if he's not appeared, like where exactly is that information was actually taken?
No. I think something you have misunderstood. So control room is a different thing. Those just they're just supervising the control room. So at the time of the interview, sir, I'll explain a little bit. At the time of interview, what happened? So let's say I'll talk about the day 1 to 4. So for the day 1 to 4, so if, let's say my example, last year I handled the let's say X company, Ola company. Just take the example, Ola company I handled. So I was not the Ola was a day 2.1. So I was not the actual handler during the interview time for the Ola. At that time, the company was handled by the ICs, internship coordinators, were there who handle the company. Actual the point of contact during the interview time was the ICs for the day 1 to 4. And with the one IC, there will be always 3 to 4 INCs allotted to one IC to conduct to means or whatever you are saying to arrange the students to conduct every activity. The point of contact person will be the IC during day 1 to 4, and this 3 to 4 INC call the students that their interview is scheduled, or if the students are outside outside of the serving, they call from there. APC didn't handle it, at least for the day 1 to 4, or let's say day 1 to 5, 6. After that, when the ICs were not, the ICs were the last year part of just till the day 7. After that, the APC handled, and it don't have any role. Control room don't have any role with this. You understand?
Got it.
Josh, yeah. Any other question?
Yeah, I have one.
Hi, Sushant.
Yes, ask. Any one of you can ask.
Okay.
Devish?
Hi, Sushant. Actually, I have a question like for the mock interviews and before the actual placement, for the arrangement, will the logistic teams is responsible, or logistic teams will function only during the actual placements?
I don't know. For the mock interview, which I mentioned in the first slide, you are referring to the
for the
assessment?
mock interviews and
assessment
like
mock interviews.
Yeah.
Till at that time, so those arrangements or the logistics handled by the assessment team. This logistic team was formed in the end of October something, and those were responsible for the day 1 to 15 placements. Yeah, cool. Next one.
Yeah, so I was asking that do companies also have some tests during the placement season itself? And if so, how do you handle room booking, or like, is there any room booking?
So I think test scheduling. Someone from test scheduling team has conduct the groundwork. I don't think so. No, I think no. Yeah. So I think Kshitij has maybe given a brief what they do. So for your question, So we conduct the test. So I'll in general, let's say ki, so you are saying you are, if you are seeing the blog or you are something referring to that, you can see that the test will be conducted for the placement from the September end till the November 30th. So those tests were conducted for the just day 1 to 4 companies. So we conduct the test in the October, November or September month for the day 1 to 4 companies only, not potential day 1 to 4 companies. You can say that. So and those decided by the PMs. So we conduct the test for those companies only. After from day 5 onwards, the test usually happen on that day only. So, I mentioned that day 5 onwards, the day starts from 12 p.m. Okay, so the test happened generally. First of thing, you didn't push for the test from day 5 onwards. You just have to ask them to give the shortlist based on the resume. If some company persists, then so how many tests you can arrange in the that morning 6 to 12 slot? 3 4 3 maximum, 3 3 4. If any company conducted 1 hour test, then 4 tests maybe. So the and companies coming are number are like 12 15. So some companies you have to restrict that you can't conduct the test, you have to go with the resume shortlisting. And some company you allow them to take the test, then you have to the APC handler have to arrange the logistics for that test as well. I think you guys have not what's actually happened during day 1 to 15, how things goes. I think you don't have any clear idea for that. Is there any of the previous groundworks day 4 groundworks covered these things? The actual day 1 to 4, day 1 to 15, how the test, how the JAFs and everything. I think Ayushi from JAF team has taken the groundwork. So Ichi has covered this thing. Ki, when will be the JAF open for the day 5 onwards company? Do you know that? Ichi covered that? Can anyone confirm?
I am not really sure. I don't think she covered.
Yeah, anyone, any other one? I think.
Like so, draftings were covered, but dates were not discussed.
No, no, means ki, so I'll ask a simple one question. Ki for, so you know that na ki to conduct the test you have to fill first open the JAF. At least you people should know that ki how the things goes. Ki first JAF open, then JAF closed, then the shortlist or then test will be there. So we conduct the test of the day 1 to 4 companies before the start of the day 1, means in October November. That means the JAF has been closed. Okay, so let's say for the day 5 onwards company, means that their JAF has been opened. There's different things, JAF close and JAF open. So okay, so for day 5 onwards companies, when the JAF open for the students to apply, any one of you can tell me if no, someone know. Then if you answer this question, then yeah, the things are been covered. Anyone of you can tell me ki for day 5 onwards companies, when the JAF will be open?
Just 1 day prior, something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that. From day 3 or day 4 onwards, we open the JAF for the day 5 companies to student to apply. Okay. Okay. I'll go with the. So anyone has doubt in the logistics team, or should I complete my presentation? If anyone has doubt, just speak up. I'll go to the presentation. Then I can't see your chats. Cool. Okay. So the next team, I was part of the food team. So me and Prajwal was the part of the food team. The food team is main aim to arrange the food for your team and for the food for the company officials. Okay, so food team and company officials from day 1 to 15, majorly food team has been active. The main function is to arrange the food and food distribution. Okay, I'll go key what we provide to the company. So just talk about just day 1 to 4. Key day 1 to 4, there are 2 slots, like 7 to 3 and then 5 to 1. So in each slot, for one company, we give them one snack box and one lunch box or dinner box. So for the slot 1 company, there will be one snacks box at 8:30 or 9 a.m. and one lunch box at 12:30 or 1 p.m. Okay, just remember these timings. That's useful. Okay, for the second slot on that day, we give them snack box at around 5:30 or 6:30, and the dinner is around 9:30 to 10. Okay, understand? Hello. Okay, maybe I understand. So
Repeat the timings?
timing is such कि सुबह का slot रहता है, then we give the one. So that the main thing is we any company come, we just give them two things: one lunch or dinner, means one complete full meal, and one snack box. So the snacks box for the morning slot is giving around 8:30 to 9. For the evening, we'll give it around 5:30 or 6:30 something, 6:37. It's on you. It's not compulsory. Then and the full meal will go to the meal at for the slot one around 12:30 to 1, and for slot 2 it is around 9:30 or 10. So every company gets two things: one snack box and one full meal. Then talk about the our team. Team includes ICs, APCs, INCs. What they will get? They will get the breakfast at the morning, then lunch uh, at the afternoon, then one snack from the evening, and dinner. Okay, snack at the evening is optional, so we didn't kept it. We just kept three things: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so I mentioned key snack. Okay, the snacks for the company officials. We we means the we gave order to that snack box is Monginis. Monginis was the vendor for that company official snack box, and the meal for the APC for the company for everyone will be arranged by the Gulmohar. Gulmohar was the vendor for the food complete meal, means the lunch and the dinner. For the breakfast, which for the APCs and for the IPT team, was the vendor was the Gita Snack Center. It is outside the main gate. So those were the three vendor mainly for the food team. Okay. So the arrangement of this food means food packet should reach at time to the venue, and it should reach the food packet kept in the supply room. So it should properly goes to the supply room, and from supply room during at the time comes, it should be distributed to each and every floor, each and every room where your team was there and where the recruitment was there. So all these things comes under the food team. It's food team's responsibility that everyone should get food, should reach food. Okay, yeah, to decide vendors and make sure everyone gets food, that's your responsibility. And then another one thing that you have to reduce the food. What happen generally? So the company officials tend to that they take just you ask them, let's say IC or handler who is handling the company, ask them how many, so they count the how many officials there, and ask the food team, INC food team man to keep the, let's say, 7 boxes for the this on this sub wing. But the many times it's happened ki out of 7 just 3 boxes were be consumed by the company, or all the 4 are remaining as it is. So it's like ki you have to confirm with the recruiter that how many boxes you want, how many panels will going to actually eat. So to reduce the food wastage, to reduce wastage of food, is it's food team's responsibility. Then you have to find a way how you'll do that. That's on your way ki, but that's the aim. You should have ki food should be wasted as much as possible. Okay. And by the data of the IRF, you tentatively give the number ki how many boxes. So for the breakfast, it's easy. It's your team, so you know that how many people are there. But for the company office, it's just tricky. Ki how the company has to fill the IRF, and means everyone should eat that, something like that. So one day before, you have to give the number to the Samir sir, and he will contact the vendors that these many pockets are required. So we communicate with the Samir sir, and he asks to Gita or Gulmohar or Monjini to send the packet. So talking about the menu, so for the Monjini box, it's a simple menu, something for the company's office snacks box. It is some one pastry, one the wafer packet or something, or it's on you. You can decide on yourself. And the Gulmohar menu was decided by us. Ki, this menu we fixed menu beforehand. Apart from that, this is from the December 1 to 15. But apart from that, ki after completion of your end sems, I'm talking about just for APC right now, just for APC's team. Ki after completion of end sem as well, it's supposed to be that ki you complete time you should be present in the placement office. So for that, we request the PIC sir to make the arrangement for our food. So that was also comes under food team to arrange the food for your APC team during the date after completion of end sem till 30th November for last 6-7 days. Okay, so these all comes under food team. So anyone has doubt, now you can ask me. But that it's a simple thing. Food team is not that much critical.
Yeah, I do have.
Casual workers, yes, we give food packet to them as well. Casual workers.
Yes. Hi.
Yeah.
So why don't we use the hostel mess?
Hostel mess is something we generally we try to give them a good quality food, and that we so you can explore that we explored at our time something. So H16 mess vendor, and then H2 or H15 mess vendor, we explore that.
So like we
And
can
the
give
packaging of the
coupons to
Gulmore is
the,
good.
we can give coupons to the guys, and those who are interested, they can avail this facility
So
to have a common
no one
right?
will no one will leave the interview venue. At the 8 hours is also small. They have to conduct everything, complete the interview and everything within that time period. Itself is such a critical thing. So no one will leave the venue. That's not going to happen. I think you give them coupon and ask them to go to the mess and take the lunch. No, that's not going to. You have to arrange as a packet. Maybe you can switch to the vendors.
If we are arranging packets, so like you said, we give it to everybody and they tend to not eat it. So
Yeah,
instead,
that
we can
happened.
give coupons to them,
So
and we can
this
just take and give the food packets to like who are interested on the list.
simple thing you can do. You can so many times what happen if you we come to the IC that he mentioned that these many people are there present. So we just give them this many packets instead of you can ask to the recruiter itself. Are you able? You're going to take the lunch or not? I see. It's okay. Your whoever the handler of the company just ask to the recruiter directly. Then by that you can save the wastage. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Any other question? I think there are 58 students and no one has a question. It's a little bit concerning. I think you guys. So right now I'm completed with the my all four teams. You can ask me an in general doubt, but basically you should come with the doubts. So one important thing from my side, see, you can ask me any question right now as well and on by number WhatsApp as well. But there should not be one question that can you give us me the problems faced in your tenure, because that question in the doc in the phase one as well, many students just send that question in the slide into the WhatsApp and just message that yeah, what problems you faced in your tenure during the three problems you faced in your tenure in the sub team. I will not answer to that question. I'm pretty frank. If you come with some different questions or if you want to take the personal grounders, you can call me, you can message me anytime. There is no issue with that. But it's such that the question should be valid. It should not be whatever I covered in the. If you don't understand what I covered in, you can ask me. But didn't just type one question. What problems you face? I'll not answer to that question. That's you have to be analyzed by yourself by completing the groundworks. So you from your side, if you want to, so it's happened that the tenure is such that it happens that I may have missed something important which has happened in the last year. But from your side, you have to ask me the question. Then I'll get recalled because it's like it's 7 8 months from I completed my tenure. So there are definitely I'll miss something important or something which is crucial. But from your side, if you ask me a question, it will helpful for me as well to understand. Yeah, something provided. Okay. So I encourage you to ask a question. How maybe about tenure, maybe how you go with the tenure. Yeah, you personally you want to. Okay, I understand there are many MTech first year students are there. Maybe some of you are for the BTech as well. So you can ask me any question. I'm happy to answer.
I had a regarding how that APC's test team and that room booking actually works. I just to make sure that my understanding is right. So like APCs, they handle the companies. So there are some companies that is handled by each APC. They get the test requirements from that company and they fill the form of the test team regarding which test is there, how much duration is the test, and when potentially they'll be taking the test, the dates or something. And the test team will then like schedule the test with your help, like with room booking help, and the information is given to the test team, like something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like do clashes happen between like is there anywhere that information is like getting clashed, or then sometimes room bookings happen, like is that
You have
is that
to.
uploaded anywhere?
So I mentioned that if the you have to reschedule or change the slot of the test just because you don't have any room, that's the I think concerning. But if you had slots available, you with the discussion within the team you can sort that issue. Okay, you have to just keep in constant touch with the test team. Okay, when is the test and is the room available or not, and just make the arrangements. Okay.
Got it. And usually those clashes are not actually usually
No.
there, right?
No, no. Yeah, any question? I have to cover many parts as well, but right now it's already 12. So I refrain from going ahead in my presentation. You ask us to remind about two incentive points. Yeah, for okay. So yeah, so about incentive points. So why we need incentive points is that there is a one thing like bonus jack. So if we know what is the JAF, so anyone can tell me what is the abbreviation for the JAF? Simple question.
Job application form.
Okay.
Announcement.
I'll clear it out. I clear it out. So there are two things. If you talk from the company perspective, it's a job announcement form. If you talk from the student perspective, it's a job application form. So if you had read the policy, it's mentioned that it's a job announcement form because it's come for the perspective of the recruiters. So both are valid. Just you have to mention that from the recruiter point of view, it's job announcement form. It's from the job applications. So you guys know what is in the JAF. So you know what's the details are in the JAF. So I'll explain you. Key in the JAF there is a job description will be there. Then the place of posting. Then the bond is there or not. Then is the allocation given by the company or not. Then there is a eligibility criteria there. Over there key there are programs are mentioned like MTech, BTech, BS, everything till PhD. And then in the vertical line there are departments. Many departments are mentioned. So if company has have to tick in a box where if they want mechanical MTech, they put it there. BTech, MTech, they have to click the box and they have to fill the eligibility criteria. Then comes the additional criteria, yeah, CPI criteria. If they had anything, they have to mention over there. And they come the salary. IIT Bombay has a structure of the salary that gross salary and CTC, cost to company, they have to give. There are some components of the salary that have to be come in the gross only, not comes in the CTC. Comes under CTC, not only gross, something like that. So they have to mention that. And then there are evaluation criteria, what will the interview or the test or anything, or any apart from that, they have any additional information to give to the student. So that's this everything info is comes under the job announcement for our JAF. Okay. In that JAF, there is also an option of bonus JAF. What does it mean? Let's say one company comes and he opened just for the MTech mechanical and BTech mechanical, but they're okay. I'll take another practical example. Let's say one company from data science domain come for the recruitment and they just open it for the computer science department and electrical department. But you guys are aware that there are almost 4 1 student is in IIT Bombay preparing for data science, irrespective of his department. Let's say from mechanical aerospace, I think, and he's preparing for the data science. So the bonus job is that if the company allowed bonus jobs, that means that student has the sufficient incentive points. So if you read the policy, there are there are bonus job allotted the number of incentive points. I frankly didn't remember the exact number, but maximum are 7 bonus jobs are there for the something 43 or 40-ish bonus points. So you can student earn this bonus point through these different activities, and they can avail with these many bonus jobs. And if the company allowed for the bonus job, then the department which is not open for his department, but if he has a bonus job within, he can fill that job. That's the importance of the bonus job. And for that, you need incentive points. Okay. So there are, if you read the policy, you can clearly see that it is there. How many bonus points you can fill how many jobs. Okay. Any other question?
How do we record incentive points for individual students?
APC does that. There are two different points, department level incentive points and institute level incentive points. So department level incentive points are handled by the DPCs. So they conduct the activities and they give us the data, and for the institute level, APCs have to take the in charge.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Sushant.
Can
Yeah.
you say what are these activities actually? Like for example, mock and resume points. Like resume.
Are you aware that there is one team, IIT ICT, Institute Aptitude Test and Coding Test. I think definitely they have mentioned it. So those IIT ICTs carries incentive points as well. Okay. So by giving those tests and all, you can earn the incentive points. Yeah, Abhishek, you have some question.
Yes, Sushant, thank you so much for this. Uh, I'd like to ask you a question out of all this thing, like it's away from the topic which we are having today.
Yes, sure.
Being a freshie, there were various rumors or the things which were rolling around the internet for last year or the previous year's placement sessions. That sessions were pretty unique than the placement sessions before, 2022. So could you please elaborate how these things are unique or what were the
Unique
factors?
means the numbers, the less numbers you're talking about.
Exactly. It's like I'm mentioning unique,
36% number you have listened somewhere read.
Uh, Actually, I guess.
Yeah, so yeah, that was number actually correct. So last year's seasons, what the phase one particularly was comparatively lesser number than the 2023 season. So actually, in fact, there were around 250 less offers compared to the previous season in the phase one. But our phase two, the phase two starts from January 15 till the end of the semester. So our phase two was such a good that this year it was took us the phase two placement was around 320 or 330 something, which was exceptional because in the 20 to 23 season the phase two number was 58, and this year it was went up to the 320 or 330. So if you see the combine, the number were around the same. So the effect of that 36% actually works in our case. Recruiters on their side they approach the IIT Bombay for the recruitment. If they understand that there are 36% placement students are there for the placement, they approach from their sides.
Okay, one more question to add on to this. As you mentioned, there was a phase two recruitment which has 330 placement something. So does it hampers the placement quality? In any ways,
placement quality means students quality?
No, it's like placement quality. Generally, what happens when students get placed in the first phase or something like that, there is a presumption that students are placed with a good package, like a company they deserve or company they thought of.
It's not like that. This year, many good companies come in the phase two. Companies from Micron, Taiwan, they come in phase two. Many companies. There are many examples. It's not random.
Okay. Previously, I had got one of the groundwork we had got mentioned that when you had seen the placements, so after that you had tried to reach out some international firms also so that they can come to recruit this thing. So was there any increase in number of international firms recruiting last year?
No, I don't have exactly data with this. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't have it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Sure. Anyone else? Yeah, you guys can ask me in general question as well. Yeah.
Hello. Does the incentive points affect number of JFs to be signed?
Incentive point?
Affect number of JAFs a student can sign.
Yeah. There are. If you I request you guys to go through the student placement policy thoroughly, because in an interview there are definitely questions coming from the student placement policy. So in that there mentions how many regular jobs you can sign with the incentive points and how many bonus jobs you can sign. If you go through placement policy once now, you will understand this thing. Okay, I request you to go through that. Yeah. Any other?
Hello.
Huh.
Yeah, I had a question regarding the things we need to write in our doc for submission.
Yeah, ask me related to doc. Yeah. So there were questions like you have to.
So